know what the problem is, it's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, now hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step, I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets, cause we know where we at, we know we top tier. Cause all the hate that you bring, we know it stops here. I'm taking off like a rocketeer and stopping here. It's strange how they cannot see the future, but you profit here. Wait up, we gon' always win.
Welcome to Fight Forecast, Africa's #1 combat sports show. This week, the former UFC middleweight champion Dricus du Plessis gives his take on the controversial eye poke at UFC 321 and gives his breakdown of the much-anticipated main card at UFC 322. We catch up with the continent's top BJJ athlete, the former European champion Monique van Staden, and we give you our predictions for the biggest card of the year at the Mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden. Join me, Sias du Plessis, as we get into this edition of Fight Forecast.
We start with welterweight champion Jack Della Maddalena, who made headlines this week by shutting down all talk of super fights and division jumping. No middleweight move, no Khamzat Chimaev fantasies. JDM says he wants to be a defending champion first, stacking title fights, building a legacy, and proving he's the constant force at 170 pounds. A clear statement as UFC 322 approaches. Over in Las Vegas, UFC Fight Night at the Apex delivered the weekend's biggest talking point. Gabriel Bonfim knocked out Randy Brown in the second round, but the stoppage triggered immediate controversy. Some fans insisted it was too early. Others argued Brown was already out cold after eating a knee and woke up as he hit the canvas. Bonfim believes the stoppage was just. That is, 4 wins in a row. Next, former UFC champion Holly Holm is heading back to her first love, boxing. She's set to challenge Stephanie Han for the WBA lightweight title on January 3rd, 2026 in San Juan, Puerto Rico. 10 rounds, 3 minutes each, full men's rules. It's a major legacy play for the preacher's daughter. And finally, heavyweight superstar Francis Ngannou has shut down rumors of a boxing match with Jake Paul. Ngannou called the idea disrespectful and said he has zero interest in what he described as influencer-style circus fights. His goal remains unchanged: serious heavyweight contenders only. This is Fight Forecast, the breakdown before the beatdown.
At Betway, we don't just reward you for playing, we reward you for staying. Introducing Betway Rewards. Earn points on every bet you place. It's that simple. You can also convert your points to cash whenever you like. With Betway, loyalty always pays off. Join the action today and start earning points.
The much-anticipated UFC 322 takes place at the Mecca of combat sports in Madison Square Garden, New York, and we can't wait to see this card. It is absolutely spicy. Joining me, as always, the former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Dricus du Plessis. DDP, let's start off just with some news that's been happening. We saw Cyril Gunn and Tom Aspinall with the eye poke. What did you make of that? Because it's a tricky one, right?
Yeah, I mean, actually just a bummer. I think for every MMA fan, myself, I was so excited for that fight. And everybody in the world was excited for that fight. You see it end like that, in controversy, and nobody wants to see that. And I think for both fighters, it's a terrible ending. Nobody trains that hard and prepares to go out there and defend a world title or win a world title and have it finish like that. No, so obviously they're going to run that one back, but with the eye poke, it's hard because you don't know. Obviously, medically, Aspinall was cleared, but after the fight, but you don't know what the effect of such an eye poke can be. Sometimes it's just for a couple of seconds, a bit blurry, and then other times you just can't see. I do think with Aspinall, could have maybe taken another approach to it. The words you never say is, "I can't see." Once you say those words, that is, for any doctor, ref, that's how they stop the fight. Maybe just say, "Give me my minutes, give me my time," and try and figure it out. If you can't see, you can't see. But I think but it's hard to say. Like people saying, "Oh, he wanted out of the fight." I don't believe that for 1 second. Obviously, I was very impressed with Gon. We said this before. In terms of the footwork, these guys stylistically it's not a great fight for Aspinall like he usually can. Just, guy stand in front of him and he has that speed and footwork. Now he's fighting a guy that also moves like a middleweight. And we could see that it was hard for him to catch Khan. But I think both guys looked great. I think, up and that when we couldn't have said who's going to be a winner. Both had some good around, both landed some good shots. But excited to see what happens.
I mean, how do you approach an opponent like that? Because the UFC, the rules are very clear. You can't extend your fingers out of the glove. They need to be closing your fist. But some guys tend to find that range, and it's almost like a default setting when they're moving their hands like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, a lot of the times I understand, you do get guys that fight with their fingers out. And, that's obviously you get your warning and you can lose points for that, especially if the ref has warned you. But sometimes, accidents happen. It's all, sometimes you are blocking, you're just pushing away. At the end of the day, you can't be fighting with your fist closed all the time. And these things happen. I don't have a solution, really. But it's a pretty serious problem, but it's part of the game.
I've got to ask you, I mean, if you were in that situation, like you said, you don't say I can't see, but you try and use up that 5 minutes as much as possible just so that you can recover. But I suppose when it comes to the eye, it's very different to the groin strike, because with the eye, it is all about seeing, and also you don't know the damage that's been done.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like I said, each case it's different. We've seen guys where the eye poke looks so intense, the whole finger goes into the eye, but they get through it. And I do think it's about where in the eye, because the one finger that went in the deepest wasn't that bad, because here on the side you can handle that. But once it touches you on the eyeball, I think that's where it becomes, where you can't see. But like you said, take your 5 minutes and make your decision. I don't necessarily think it's always the smartest to go and say, I can't see. Try and figure it out.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's all about the fighter's safety. Absolutely. And we want to see that one run back. So Aspinall and Gone, I'm sure it will happen sooner rather than later. Let's see.
Absolutely. And I think anybody that says that Aspinall wanted out of the fight, I don't believe that for 1 second. He's an absolute warrior. Absolutely.
Mad respect for Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gane. All right, UFC 322. Oh my goodness. They're calling it card of the year. It's in the Big Apple. Is Madison Square Garden a place you want to fight one day?
Absolutely. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, all the greats have fought in Madison Square Garden. So, I would love to, one of these days, I know they usually do November in MSG. So, I would love to be among one of the greats that has fought under that roof.
I've no doubt it's going to happen, DDP. All right, let's start. Main card. It's a lightweight bout. Beneil Dariush against Benoit Saint-Denis. This is a tough one to call.
Well, every fight on this main card is absolutely ridiculous. I looked at it before we started and I thought to myself, even while I'm standing here, I'm going to have to negotiate my way into picking a winner for this whole card. With this one, I'm going to go with Dariush. I have to say, he's always the underdog. I think people look at him and, he doesn't fit the profile of this badass. But when he gets in there, I mean, in his last fight, his striking looked incredible, where he's predominantly a grappler. Against Moicano, he looked phenomenal in that fight. I mean, he was just doing great. So, and Saint-Denis, he looked good in his last fight. He looked great against Poirier, started fading around round 2. And the fight after that, he won, but he didn't look that great. So sometimes he fights great, but he's a warrior. You can see it the way he fights. With Dariush, he has this calm way of fighting, but still being aggressive, which to me is going to give him the edge, especially once we go, past the halfway mark. I think Dariush has the grappling and then, of course, the striking.
Another welterweight fight. Oh my goodness. Leon Edwards against Carlos Prates. Prates is like the smoking gun at the moment. Literally, in Chicago, backstage, he was smoking, doing his media. It's another very tough one to call, Dricus.
That is a very tough one. I mean, you have the former champ in Leon Edwards that we have seen looked incredible in fights. Beating Kamaru Usman twice. And then you have Prates, who's just on an absolute tear. He looks phenomenal. He lost that fight against Ian Gary, but what a fight. I mean, and Prates is almost, it feels like he doesn't feel pressure, and he has this weird confidence of, this is easy, I'm going to get in, do what I have to do. And after that last performance, I mean, it's such a hard call. I think this is going to be predominantly a striking fight, which does favor both guys, I think. But Leon Edwards has shown that he can wrestle, but then you look at the Bilal fight. And no disrespect to Leon Edwards, I think he's a phenomenal athlete. But you look at the Belal fight and it's almost like he doesn't switch on. And even if you look at the Usman fight, the first one, he did knock him out because he came in that last round and he went for it. But it's almost like he waits and he doesn't go out there and fights.
Yeah.
And I think that's a little bit of something where Prates, he goes out and he throws.
Yeah.
So that can be a problem. And Prates is a big guy. He's a big welterweight. Leon Edwards himself, always ripped, always in great shape. I don't know what the loss against Belal is going to do to the confidence of Leon Edwards, because he got outstruck in that fight. He got out wrestled. And with Prates, if you're going to give him that, he has knockout power. We've seen that many times. It's a hard call, but I'm going to go with the new kid on the block in Prates.
Okay, let's move along. Another welterweight fight. We've got Sean Brady against Michael Morales. This is another spicy one. It's number 2 ranked against the number 8 ranked. How do you see that one?
Yeah, I mean, then Sean Brady, he had that fight against Belal where, I mean, it was a bad performance. He didn't look like he always does. But then he goes out, comes back, and look at his past performances, this past few. He looks incredible. You know, he worked on his striking because he was predominantly a grappler. And he worked on his striking and he makes it look good. But unfortunately, right now, Morales, I can't bet against that guy. I mean, just what he's done in his run. He's unbeaten for a reason. And he's not just unbeaten, he goes out there. He looks like a light heavyweight, to be honest, against these welterweights. I'm going to go with him. You know, if it goes to the ground, you know, that's his world.
Yeah.
But to get him there, I mean, we saw Morales against Gilbert Burns. He caught Burns with that one shot. Gilbert Burns can take a punch. He's seen it all, and Morales has that power. And to try and get him to the ground, he's so big and he knows the guys are going to try and take him down. I'm going to go with Morales on this one.
So 19-0, his record will be. It's unbelievable. On to the women's flyweight title bout, another one that we can't wait to see.
It doesn't get any easier.
We're putting you on the spot here today. Valentina Shevchenko against Zhang Weili. I mean, 2 phenomenal athletes.
Well, I think if you look at women's MMA and you look at those two, I mean, I was in the warm-up. I was backstage when I fought, I think it was in Sydney. And Weili was warming up for her fight against Tatiana Suarez. And I couldn't believe it. She is like a superhero. It was crazy. She's so small, but she just seeing her warm up, I thought, I wouldn't want to fight her. I mean, she's small, but I mean, we saw in that fight, her wrestling, she was flawless in her wrestling. And of course, her striking is one of the best we've ever seen. But then you have Shevchenko with, I mean, she can do it all. She's so physically strong. You can almost see it whenever she fights. Her striking has always been phenomenal. She hits with intent. She has knockout power. In the last fight against Grasso, we saw how she just took her down. And I mean, Grasso is amazing on the ground. And Shevchenko was just physically too strong for Grasso to have anything to give her.
Yeah.
And man, this is such a tough call.
And I mean, Shevchenko is number 1 pound for pound.
Yeah.
In women's MMA. This is tough. I'm going to put you on the spot.
I have to go with the last performances. I'm purely going to go on both of their last performances. I'm going to go with Weili to win this one.
Okay.
It's a very tough call. I wish I didn't have to make that call, but I'm going with Weili.
And new, so let's see what happens there. Then finally, the main event, welterweight title bout. Jack Della Maddalena against Islam Makhachev, coming up a weight division. It's definitely worth the main event on the card of the year, right?
I mean, this fight is truly one of those fights where your heart says something, but your mind says something else. I love Jack Della. I think he's an incredible fighter. I love watching him fight. He's always entertaining. He goes through these wars, and his style, he just has this nonchalant, let's do this. He's very calm, very relaxed. He can go to distance. We've seen that. How good he did against Belal was incredible. I mean, Belal is really good wrestling, especially when he's enforcing his plan. And Jack Della didn't care. He has that anti-wrestling working with Craig Jones, and it's been so effective. But that being said, if you look at his opponents versus Makhachev's opponents, Makhachev has beaten the who's who. He is where he is, and he was pound for pound for very long, pound for pound king for a very good reason. People think Jack Della is going to be bigger. I don't think so. now lately seen, and that's why they did such a long camp, to pick up that weight correctly. And he looks big, and he looks thick, and he looks strong. I mean, no doubt, he's a hard worker. With this one, I think, with Jack Della, I love his style, I love him, I like his personality. I would love for him to win that bout, but unfortunately, I cannot go against Makhachev in this one. I think he is just so good. I think he's so good, and I don't think he's gonna give up anything going up a weight. I think he's gonna be great at that weight, to be honest.
Make history.
Absolutely.
Well, there you have it. UFC 322 goes down this weekend. DDP's picks. He's got Makhachev, he's got Weili, Morales, Prates, and Dariush. We'll have to wait and see how it goes, but lots of storylines, lots of incredible action goes down in the Big Apple of New York. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu enjoys a cult-like following in South Africa. Competitions like the hugely popular Submission Kings give the BJJ athletes who are continuously honing their skills at various gyms across the country an opportunity to showcase their talents, often in front of hundreds of spectators. The sport has seen a rapid rise, especially amongst women who have fully committed to learning the dark arts of BJJ.
Hi, my name is Monique van Staden. I train at Quan Vessels Jiu-Jitsu. I am the European 2024 Master 1 Purple Belt Champion, Gold Medalist, and Abu Dhabi 2024 World Purple Belt Master 1 Champion, and still Flyweight Champion at Sub Kings.
Monique van Staden is one of the continent's most respected Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu players, but her journey in the sport started later in life than most, and more out of curiosity than anything else. Her rise has been impressive, to say the least, performing like a seasoned pro with decades of training under a purple belt.
When I met my husband, obviously MMA was a big part of his life, and for the first 4 years of being together, it was just something I was just in my life, but it was never ingrained in me. And from the first moment I tried it, because he said you have to try some form of self-defense. It's one of the most important things for women. I fell completely in love. Jiu-Jitsu is one of the biggest parts of my life and made me who I am today over the past 9 years of doing it. I carry everything I learn in Jiu-Jitsu into my professional corporate career, as well as into my relationships and private life. So I think there's more to learn than a skill in Jiu-Jitsu in terms of actual ability to do the sport.
Don't be fooled by the nickname Mouse. Monique van Staden is by no means an athlete who shies away from a challenge, and is definitely not afraid of her opponents attempting to set up cat-like submission traps on the mats. Van Staden made a name for herself on the local Submission King circuit, proving she is the apex predator in her weight division. Since then, she has sought out tougher opponents north of the equator and enjoyed the challenge of taking on a dangerous array of opponents eager to corner her into submission.
One day I just said, I'm going to make this happen for myself, and I'm going to do the work, and I'm going to do it in every way that I can to make it happen. And the moments leading up to competing internationally, the time I spent on the mat, and those moments where I'm learning with my teammates, but also the time I got to spend with my husband in these countries, going through all these journeys of competing. And then obviously you win that gold medal, and you have this, you're like, wow, I can't believe I actually achieved this. And it's all because I did the work.
After tasting success in European competitions, the Quan Vessels Academy athlete is determined to test her skill set against the best and continue her quest to be one of the top BJJ athletes in the world.
I'm in an age group now where I would like to achieve brown belts worlds and brown belt Europeans, and then also ensure I help the rest of the girls in this country to understand that this is an option for them. I don't get to do that as often as the other girls. I'm very busy in terms of other layers of my life, but I'm trying to be more involved with teaching girls, going to different gyms, and being open and available to those individuals to show that there's a path for everyone.
Welcome to Main Card Money. UFC 322 is here and we're breaking down the picks that matter. JDM brings crisp boxing and real finishing power. Makhachev brings pace control, dominant grappling and championship IQ. Prediction, Islam Makhachev wins by decision. DDP agrees. In the co-main, Valentina Shevchenko against Weili. Shevchenko is the surgeon, precise, disciplined, icy. Weili explosive, dangerous and unpredictable. Our prediction, Shevchenko wins by decision. This time, DDP disagrees. He backs the Chinese athlete. Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. Edwards has elite footwork, clean counters, and a defensive style built for 3-round control. Prates swings big, hits big, but leaves gaps. Prediction, Leon Edwards by decision. DDP disagrees. He backs the Brazilian for the W. BSD fights like every round is a fire alarm. Non-stop pressure, non-stop danger. Dariush is calmer, trickier, and has the grappling pedigree to exploit chaos. Prediction, Beneil Dariush wins by submission. DDP says tough to call, but he backs Dariush to get the job done.